Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you joining Darko and I here today. We're going to go through this PowerPoint is the one that we used actually back in June that Vic Young created for us. And we're just going to use the same one because there's a lot of people here who are not familiar with what we do. And I'm just going to hit a few of those things, but obviously there's going to be some more, some important updates and some information that we alluded to. As you know by now, we are holding this webinar in response to the member survey that we sent out a few weeks ago. It was to current and past members. So just before we get going, we need to take a look at the following disclaimer because we always do that. The products referenced at this site are analytical tools only, are not intended to replace individual research or licensed investment advice. Unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. Trading currencies involves risk, substantial risk, and there's always the potential for loss. Your trading results may vary. No representation is being made that these products and any associated advice or training will guarantee profits or not result in losses from trading. Never use anything other than risk capital for trading. I think everybody knows all this kind of stuff, right? By the way, for questions, I think maybe we'll wait and we'll take them at the end. If you have an admin kind of a question, go ahead and type it in. Vic Young standing by, he can probably answer it. And if not, then we'll get to it at the end. Okay. All right. Here is my smiling, handsome partner, Darko, and myself. I founded the Coach's Corner service in 2006. Darko became our lead coach in November of 2017. Just so you know who we are. These are our social media links here. You can just pause the recording when you guys are all going to get the recording automatically sent. So you can just pause it and then, go into these links. This will keep you up to date with what we're doing. No, Darko has a huge following on LinkedIn. Our podcast, gee, if you want to hear some stories about trading and the what the things you can go through with trading, Darko's got some beauties in here, and I think you'll get lots out of them. You will probably be able to identify with some of the stuff that's being said there. So what we do here is pure price action reading, just price only, no indicators. I'm not saying you can't use indicators. If you like to use them, fine, but everything is based on price. First, foremost, that's it, because it's instant. There's no lag. Indicators like moving averages and that kind of stuff can have quite a lag to them. And we just watch technical stuff on charts, price swings, candlesticks, support resistance levels, just, the price movement, the wave action. We know our setups in advance. That's one of the nice things about the way we trade. Like we buy dips in an uptrend. So as price is rallying and we want to be a buyer based on the setup, then we wait for price to come down before we buy. So we know in advance. That's why Darko's able to post his PMA videos and show everybody ahead of time where he's going to be buying and where the stop's going to go. And it's opposite for a sell. We sell a rally in a downtrend. You can use this for any style of trading. It doesn't matter. Micro scalping right up to position trading. And then we just look for those levels and then we identify patterns at those levels. And that's it. It's actually simpler than what most people make it, to be honest with you. Okay. Darko switched to long-term trading. I think it was November of 2020, if I recall. Well, I got it right there. Geez, what am I talking about? Pretty easy to recall when it's staring right in front of me, isn't it? Anyway, and up until then, he was just trading short-term, mostly day trading, and he did PMAs every day. And actually, at one time, he was doing up to 3 of them a day. Some of you might have been around then. And obviously, that's not sustainable. PMAs, just so you know, they take several hours to prepare. I'm not exaggerating or joking. I've done them. You won't have much of a life when you're doing that. Okay, so in order to have any kind of life with family and friends, etc., like everybody is entitled to, things had to change, and of course they did. And now Darko only trades longer term, and the benefits of this have been beyond what he expected. If you followed him at all in our YouTube videos, you'll see that. And now he provides a long-term PMA at the beginning of every week, and he gives updates if he has to along the way, because with longer-term trading, things don't move to the extent that you need to be constantly doing a new PMA and all that kind of stuff. Things are much more slowed down. That's the nature of long-term trading. And Darko also provides other videos, like there'd be bonus videos, and that kind of thing. And now for the past few months, he's been producing another PMA, usually around midweek or so, on stocks and indices, showing how to use the exact same approach to trade anything else. So it could be commodities, it could be crypto, it could be anything tradable. And this started from an interest from our members. And he's going to talk about this shortly, and he'll actually go through an analysis and show you exactly how he figures everything out. I just, you can't help but be impressed when you see how all of this stuff, this approach works on anything. Anyway, so the thing with the long-term trading is that it works for anybody. It doesn't matter. There's lots of time to put orders in. It's not like there's a big rush and you got to run to your computer. There's lots of time, days to put it in. You sometimes over a week, right? With short-term trading, which is fine. This is not a put down at all on short-term trading, but short-term trading has challenges like you need to be at your computer. Maybe you live in a time zone that's not that conducive. Maybe you have a job or family life or other obligations that you have to look after, okay? So now what I want to do is just get right to it and specifically address some of the feedback that we received from the member survey, because that's what this webinar is all about. And this is the things that we heard. And I can tell you that as far as the style of our traders, like, long-term, short-term and all that, it's pretty evenly split. About half of our traders trade long-term, the other half short-term. A lot of them trade both. And that's fine if you have the experience for that, but you sure don't want to get, bogged down in taking on too much and getting overwhelmed. So the next question that we had then was about the reason for quitting the CC. This is right here, because we want to know. I mean, listen, you won't hurt our feelings. We want to know, like, what can we? Maybe there's a reason, something that we could do to help. So the number one reason was lack of time devoted to learning due to career, family life, and commitments. So I have to assume that this kind of a comment is from short-term traders, because for longer term, I mean, that's the whole idea for long-term trading, right? Just to free up more time and not to have to be constantly at your computer. So I don't know. But if a person responded to this who is a longer-term member, then I would say this. If you're here to just learn to trade Forex longer term, sure, you need to put in some time at the beginning to understand the approach, which is, we do that via the emails and the videos on our site. But after that, like, once you get the approach down and you give yourself just that initial time, it's like learning anything. You're not going to, just jump in and be a par golfer. Like, it takes some time. But after that, the nice thing about what we have here is you only need, 15 to 25 minutes to listen to Darko's PMAs at the beginning of the week. That's it. You can play his videos at a faster speed. Those who are members, you can speed the video up to whatever you want. He sounds like a chipmunk, but you know what? You get used to it after a while. And I always listen to them at least double speed, and it cuts down on the amount of time that you need for listening to them. So there's very, very little time that you need to put in once you get going here. Lack of funds. Well, we can't really help that. If you don't have the money for this, obviously it's not going to happen. If it's the subscription price issue, we're going to talk about that very shortly, and we're going to make an offer that we've never done before. And I really hope that you find it attractive. I think you will. But anyway, now number 3, I'm not able to achieve consistent profits. I tell you why that is. In a nutshell, it's a few things, but basically it's usually because you haven't taken the time to go through all the material and you don't have a trading plan that you believe in, right? And that you follow consistently. Or maybe you don't have a good trading plan at all. I'm going to show you a spreadsheet right now that we kept when Darko was doing several PMAs every single day. Right, this is, I don't know how long ago was Darko, probably 3-4 years ago or something like that. And the point of me showing this to you, right, is to illustrate the whole idea about being consistent and having a plan. And this is the spreadsheet. And we kept track of, like, pattern trades and ACATs all by them. We kept ACATs all by themselves because it's such an easy pattern. And if you look at this, Like, look, you can look at this month here of August, and yeah, this is great. And I'm not showing you this to, hey, this is 89% accurate. And you can see all the rest of them here. I'm showing this to you to illustrate the, like I say, having a trading plan, being consistent, taking the trades. You're not going to get trades every day. You're going to sit on your hands for a lot of days, okay? These are, what these are, by the way, are ACATs taken off just a daily chart and using a 1 hour for entry. Now, we stopped the spreadsheet for a few reasons. Differences in trade management was a big one. So obviously, differences in results. We talked about that when I did the disclaimer. There's going to be different results, and it's always going to be this way. So we didn't want to keep saying, hey, look at us, we got these great results. Someone else may have gotten different results. And so they're kind of choked and going, what do you mean you got, you broke even on that? I lost money. This is not a trade alert service. And although our initial setups, like how we're going to get into the trade, are almost completely objective, trading will always have some subjectivity to it. I hope that makes sense and you understand that. So the last thing we want to do is mislead anyone in any way. So we felt it was just better to show our approach via the videos on our site and leave it at that. It's an educational site. And actually, Darko, here's the thing. All of these patterns, like the ACAT, Darko shows them all the time as they set up, way before they get filled. So, for example, if he sees one of these qualified ACATs, which are always on our higher time frames, since he's only a longer term trader, he shows the members where the pending order is going, where the stop is going. So you still get these ACAT, all these trades, you still get them. They're just on higher time frames now. Here's the issue that people have with consecutive losing trades. I want to talk about this. See this? I wanted to show you that right here. 1, 2, 3, there's a break even, 4. And when I say no/reduced loss, it's because of how somebody handled it. I started doing this because we're getting mixed feedback. So let's just say they're losses. 1, 2, say that was a loss. 3, 4. People get shaken out because they lose faith in their probabilities. I'm going to give you an example that you're all familiar with. It's the coin flip. You take a coin, you flip it. We all know that a coin flip is 50, well, I think we do, is 50-50, right, between heads and tails. Let me ask you a question. Is it possible to flip the coin 5 or 6 times or more and have them all come up heads? Well, of course it is. Have you ever done it? It's a kind of fun exercise one day, just do it. But what about after, say, 1,000 times? Well, you're going to be pretty much right on 50-50, probably way before that. Like, you can't judge probabilities after just 2 or 3 trades. In fact, most people freak out after just a couple of consecutive losses and kind of go, nah, I don't know about this. This doesn't look very good. Like, you need to have a sample set of trades that makes sense. And if you haven't read Mark Douglas's book, Trading on His Own, you really, really should. He talks about this very thing, a sample set. So if you've had a losing trade, but it was a good setup, it was a good trade. That's a good trade. Sometimes they lose, but you have to keep taking that setup over and over and let the odds do their thing. That's why you have to manage your account risk, okay? It's very, very important to do that. But listen, and here's the thing. I'm going to tell you another way to achieve consistent profit. See this here, achieving consistent profits. You want to know another way to do it? Follow the PMAs. Now listen, we don't provide a trade alert service. We've told you that many, many times. But, however, Darko shows pending orders all the time, exactly where to buy and where to put your stop. I'm going to show you a screenshot here, right there, of a typical pending order. This is the euro-yen trade that he pointed out back in early August. And this trade, so this, as price was up here, he said, this is where I'm going to buy. Here's where my stop is. His cursor still there. Here's where my stop's going to go. Sometimes he'll draw a gray box around here. It's the same thing. Here's where I'm going to buy. Here's where my stop's going to go. This trade went up over 850 pips to opposing resistance, right? 800. That's a big move. What I'm saying, and they don't all work that way. I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out that these trades are shown in advance. All you need to do is follow the PMAs for a while if you don't want to take the time to do anything else, and you'll see. If you're not profitable, well, I tell you what, Darko's been profitable since 2017 when he became the lead coach, and he's handing you these trades in his PMAs, showing you the pending orders all in advance, lots and lots of time to put them in, and just leave them alone. He'll tell you if it's hands on or hands off. Like if it's with the trends, the bigger trends, it's hands off, leave them alone. If it's counter trend, yeah, you can take the trade, but it's hands on, like keep an eye on it, get the risk out a little more quickly. Very, very little time needed. I mean, if you're too busy to learn, then you could theoretically simply take the trades that he shows as pending orders. Right? Just a thought. I'm just trying to let you know that you're not, there's solutions for these problems. So listen, what I've been talking about here takes care of the issue of the lack of time and the other commitments, and it also takes care of not being able to achieve consistent profits. And the other big issue is lack of funds. Well, here's a couple thoughts. One thing, you could simply risk a higher amount of your account when you're starting out. Maybe you want to risk 1 or 2% of your account. We always say, 0.5%. Well, I know that's ultra conservative, and we do that to promote capital preservation, right? But you could risk more, especially when you're starting out and you have a smaller account. Maybe it's $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever it is. And as you're and you could take on that initial risk then, but I would say that as your account grows, get that risk back down to 0.5%. It's capital preservation, okay? And beyond that, of just that idea for a smaller account, we're going to help you out with the subscription pricing as well as different options, and we'll get to that shortly. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how do you take on a trade like this where it might have a couple hundred pips of risk and do it with a lot less risk. You can do that too, and we'll talk about that in a bit too. I just wanted to finish off with the longer term trading, and I'll talk very briefly about short term trading, because we do that as well, and also about how to make it way easier for you to trade any trading style. And this is what Darko has found with the longer term approach. Okay, just way less stress. I mean, obviously doing a PMA or 3 PMAs every day versus what he's doing now, and doing just as well or better. That's less stressful. Stress way down, profitability up. These are the best results that he's had, and have been with long-term trading. Okay, and that's just a point here. Like if it's an issue for you, think about that, because if you're spending way too much time on trading, then consider long-term trading. If I'm not saying don't abandon short-term if that's your thing, but we don't get time back, right? That's just precious time with your family or whatever you like to do. More free time, better results, win-win, right? So and I'll tell you, longer term trading is easier to learn as well, because it slows everything down so much, and from there you can go to any style of trading that you like. Okay, so is short term trading dead? No, it's not dead. We do that all the time, and it's easiest to learn long term, like I just said, and then you can apply it to whatever style you like. And with short term, there's some pretty good benefits. You can get big reward risks fast, right? And you can get faster growth in your account, and you can start with a smaller account size. However, like it says down here, if you don't have a grasp of this whole thing and how it works, and especially risk management, it's very dangerous, and you can wipe your account out in a hurry. We don't want that, okay? So the thing with short-term trading is this. There is no daily PMA for short-term trading. Darko, obviously not going to, he's doing the long-term trading, okay? And he's busy enough with doing all of that, and now the stock trading. And I live in the Pacific time zone. I'm asleep during London. With short-term trading, it's dynamic. Things change quite rapidly, like levels, like 4-hour levels when you're trading short-term. What I do provide from time to time are videos, and what I do is I post them directly to our short-term member chat room for levels to watch for the following session. Okay, so that gives people they can just, and I'll just go like I'll cover 3 or 4 pairs, maybe it could be 2 or 3 pairs. The process is the same for any pair, right? And how you draw these levels, there's tutorials on that and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll do videos and I'll post them to our site of trades that, you know, set up or have happened and why they were, because our setups are really objective. You know, I can go back and look at them and go, yeah, that's all hindsight. Yeah, and you're right, it is. I'm asleep during London. So, but if I see a setup, like I see an ACAT, you know, a perfect ACAT during London, it's either a winner or a loser. And if it's a losing trade, absolutely record it and show it. It's fine. You don't have to worry about them all being winners. But whatever it is, I try to get to them and record them and show them, and everybody can look at them. And actually in our trading rooms, which are merged, I'll talk about that in a minute, everybody has access to those videos, whether you're short-term or long-term trading, because it helps with your RAS. If I show an ACAT, that ACAT can be applied to any time frame, right? So that's that. So how do you make short-term trading easier? Okay, it's really simple. Just trade one pattern, and we only have a few patterns. We got ACATs, swing break rotation, set and forget. And if you want some advice, you know, if you're starting out and you're not really sure, I would say ACATs are probably the easiest for most traders. It may not be, but I would say it is. And you know, that's what you saw with those results, those spreadsheet results I just showed you. And the thing is, when you're trading like this spreadsheet here, remember I showed you these ones here. These are all 1 hour time frame entry rate here. Think about this. You only need to check the currency pair at the end of each day to see if there's a valid ACAT. Either there isn't or isn't. So you'll know right away if there's even a trade possibility for the next day. That's actually what you saw when I showed you that spreadsheet. And these are all daily ACATs with the entry on the hourly chart. And by the way, at our members site, you'll have full access. We did an ACAT webinar a few years ago, and you'll have full access to that webinar as well. That's part of the deal. So showing you exactly how to trade the ACAT setup. Okay. All right. I just sprinkled in a few, just what people say. It's good to hear from not Darko and I telling you, oh, this is all great. You know, listen, it's members that matter, you know. And so, hi, Vic, I just want to say thank you so much for your help. I've never had 2 consecutive weeks of profitable trading until joining your coaching service only 2 weeks ago. I got this, I think, last week. I'm not sure. This is Matt. I'm super happy about that. Of course, I know there's still a lot of work to do to keep improving my skills. But today I'm celebrating my accomplishments from the last 2 weeks, and I have you to thank. Have a great weekend. Smashing. Love to hear that. Just when I was talking about the learning long-term, I just finished watching the YouTube video on deciding between short-term and long-term. Mastering long-term trading before starting short-term trading is definitely the way to go. If anyone's having trouble with scalping and they haven't gone through Darko's long-term approach, I highly recommend doing that. It helped me a lot. Okay. And we're gonna get Darko on here shortly. What I want to tell you is this, and if you might already know this, but if you don't, because there's some newer people here, we merged our service. Like we used to have 2 services, long-term and short-term, 2 different sites. Now it's just one single service for all traders. You get access to everything, all of our resources. Everybody has them, including the PMAs. So if you're a scalper and Darko's showing the long-term trading PMAs, those are great. Those are, because everything's scalable, you can use those PMAs to apply to short-term trading, right? We do have 2 different chat rooms. We keep those separate because it's too distracting. You know, long-term trading really shouldn't need a lot of chat in it, and there's usually not very much chat. Short-term trading, maybe if there's something going on. The members are great. I mean, everybody's very respectful, and it's not like swamped with stuff or anything. So, and those are for internal use by the members. Okay. So we actually got some really good feedback. We asked about this, and the members were overwhelmingly happy about this change. Okay. So like I say, you know, I post, because it's merged now, when I post short-term scalps and even micro scalps, I put some micro scalps in once in a while. That's using 4 hour, 1 hour, and then a 5-minute chart for entry. All the members have access to those videos. It doesn't matter if you're long-term or short-term. And again, it's just to show that the approach is transferable to any trading style. So even if you're a long-term trader, it's good to see the approach applied to short-term just to help develop your reticular activating system, your RAS. Okay. I am going to turn it over to Darko now, and he's going to talk about what he provides, and he's also going to give you a live analysis of the S&P as he reads it. This is yeah, all good stuff. So Darko, I need to make you a presenter. Hang on a second here. Make presenter.
Thanks, Vic.
There you go.
Let's see here. Just give me 1 sec before I hi everyone, Darko here, lead coach, Coach's Corner since
Hit your
November.
hit your
Yeah,
F5 key.
yeah. I will be showing my some
Okay.
social media before. So thanks, Vic. So yeah, I assume that you guys hear me okay, and a big warm welcome to everyone. Like I said, Darko here, lead coach, Coach's Corner, and I've been a lead coach since November 2017. And before I start my session, I want you to, follow me on LinkedIn because I'm very active on LinkedIn, posting motivational stuff, but also trading related stuff, as you will see in some of the slides that I will be showing you. The next slide that I will be showing you is actually our podcast, like Vic said in the beginning. And, make sure that you listen to it. I share my entire story, trading story. And if you haven't listened to it, you are missing out because I promise you this podcast alone will save you a fortune. Every single mistakes that I did for the first decade, the first 10 years, is there. And I'm very honest about everything I do. So I will tell you everything as it is. No hype, no BS. I'm not telling you to get rich quick or anything. It's actually on the contrary. I'm telling you this is all about hard work and dedication and having a passion for trading. So make sure that you listen to our podcast. It's still ranked #1 on Spotify, so that's nice. So I will press F5 in the second, just make this into my slide in here, and there you go. So what I'm doing here is in our service is that I provide two PMAs. Two PMAs are like what I do on regular basis. Okay, so two PMAs is not a fixed number. Sometimes like last week, I did like 4 PMAs, 2 regular PMAs, 2 bonus videos. Today I posted like lots of screenshots of some of the stuff that I introduced today. I will talk about this in a minute. So the Monday's PMA is for Forex, and we are trading all the pairs, 27 pairs, or the most used pairs, or at least the most popular pairs, 27 of them. And you might say 27 pairs is like way too much. I have a specific approach. Once you get used to it, it will probably take you like a couple of minutes to see if there's anything on that chart or if you just need to move on. So that's why we could scan through so many pairs with great results. Okay, otherwise it might be just trade as many pairs that is good for you without getting overwhelmed. So that's for the Monday's PMA. So Forex is our main focus. On Thursday, because I noticed like for the past year or so, the Thursday's PMA is almost always a repetition of Monday's PMA. So using my time and my client's time most effectively is that for Thursday's PMA, we talk about indices, the most biggest indices around the world. And obviously, if you live in whatever country you are living in and you want me analyzing the index of your country, just let me know. The only demand that I have is it needs to be on TradingView, because TradingView is the charting package that I'm using, and there's no conflict of interest. We are not getting paid to advertise any charting packages or brokers. So that's what I use for my charting. Okay, so that's Thursday's PMA. And obviously, if anything changes along the way, or if I have a bonus video about whatever top of mind that I'm working on in the background, I will just record that and post that and alert you in the chat room. Okay, so what I do for long-term trading, I use the yearly chart for the bigger picture. You might say, yearly chart, Darko, really? Well, like I said, the yearly chart is only for the bigger picture. We are not trading yearly necklines. So I will show you when I'm doing the S&P, I will show you the yearly chart. And then I look for trends, support and resistance on a monthly and weekly. And then I time those entries on the daily and 4-hour, depending on which time frame I see those support and resistance getting hit. Like, for example, if it's a monthly level, then it's a daily chart, my entry time frame. And if it's a weekly level, then the 4-hour charts are my entry time frame, always 2 time frames below where I get my signal. Okay, and sometimes we have identical necklines both on monthly and weekly. Then it's up to me, whatever signal comes first, if it's a daily or 4 hour. Obviously the 4 hour is moving much more faster than a daily, so then I'm allowed to go down to the 4 hour time frame to take my entry. Okay, the chat room is only, the chat room is available for internal use. I'm not there. I alert the clients when I have something to say, or when I'm posting anything. So the chat room is mainly for internal use, and once in a while I could chime in, and that is for the first slide. The next one is, well, let me tell you this. I've been a day trader for almost my entire trading career, which is 15 years. Since the pandemic broke out, I just felt that, the best way approaching the market is to be long-term trading. It's less stressful, and it helped me, like, to be dead honest with you. The only thing that I regret is I didn't, I wish I started long-term trading much earlier. Okay, being a day trader or a scalper, great. If you have the time, that's perfect. That's perfect. Most of us have a day job, or obligations, family, dogs, pets, whatever obligations you have. Why would you sit in front of your charts for 12 hours a day when you can sit down for 2 hours and make more money? Okay, or at least same amount of money. And like I said, the first thing that I was worried about, like, hey, the biggest misconceptions about long-term trading is like, I need to provide for my family. I need to be a scalper or a day trader because then I will make more money. Well, when anybody tells you that, they are not real scalpers, because or long short-term traders, because having more trades doesn't necessarily generate in more income. If you don't know what you are doing, that's just only a faster way to actually blow your account. Okay, so trading long term, short term has nothing to do with the results and the amount of money you are making. So it's just different type of approach. Nothing wrong with scalping, nothing wrong with day trading. I day traded for 13 years with great results, and I'm also long term trading for the past 2 years with even better results. Okay, for me, I don't, you know spending so many hours at the office, it's not quality of life. Okay, there's so much more things to do in life than just sitting in front of your computer. And most of the clients, to be honest with you, send me private messages. Darko, we are babysitting trades too much in Coach's Corner. I don't have time. And I was like, how can I find an approach that's suitable for everyone? And obviously, this is scalable. Like, if you like what I'm doing on long term, do it. And you have time to be day trader or scalper, do it. It's the same approach, different time frame combination, and everything is explained in great detail on the website. So just because you're a scalper and day trader, you might ask yourself, what's in it for me? Why would I join your service if you're long-term trading? Well, what I teach you is scalable on any time frame, okay, and anything tradable. Um, well, the question that I'm asking you is, what's your excuse now? Because 90% of the excuses that I got when I was a short-term trader is, I don't have time. Like, you're sitting at your office like 12 to 16 hours a day. I don't have 16 hours a day sitting at my office, or neither 8 hours a day. Okay, well, now you don't need to. Like Vic said, in the beginning, you need to learn my system 100%. That might take 3 6 months, maybe longer. That's up to you and how much hours you put into the system, learning the stuff properly, depending how much time you have. Once the hard work is done, well, let me tell you this. If I wasn't a trading coach, I will probably spend around like 30 to 60 minutes a day. That's it, and that's including putting the orders in the market. That's it. That's all I need to do. Okay. Now, because I'm a trading coach, I'm spending 4 to 6 hours a day producing content. I'm a content provider, so social media and the PMAs. Every PMA takes 3 hours, 2 hours to prepare, 1 hour to record and render and upload. So even if the PMA is like 10 minutes, it still takes me 3 hours to do. So that's the job that people don't see. And beside that, I need to backtest, chart exercise every single day. I do that like 2 to 6 hours. And that's exercising. Like, if you're a bodybuilder, you go to the gym and build your body, right? My gym is the chart, because if I don't perform, this is a performance work, right? If you don't perform, the entire service will collapse. So it's depending, like I'm always like improving my skills, my system, finding better ways of approaching the market without changing back and forth. I'm trading the same system for like many years. But like today, I introduce how can you day trade yourself into a swing trade. And we got like lots of private messages, emails and comments in the chat room. They thought, that was the best PMA I made in a while, and people was like loving it. And so that's the product of like me working in the background. Hey, how can I make more money? So now, basically moving forward, we will, sharing trades where we are actually day trading ourselves into a swing trade, and which is in alignment with the trend. So like Vic said, I've been showing trades since November 2017, and the thing is that I'm doing things live. I'm grabbing the mic. I'm showing you the charts, showing you going through the 27 pairs. I'm not showing you every 27 pairs all the time. I'm only focusing on the ones that is something is there. Okay, and I'm summarizing everything. I script it, and then I record the PMA for you, trading the live market. Okay. Now, I will show you what I do on daily, or sorry, on weekly basis. And the exact same way that I'm showing you the stuff on S&P 500, I'm doing it on Forex, anything else on weekly basis. And this is, we are actually, let me show you. Let's see here. Let me show you the charts. Uh, so for Thursday's PMA, these are the Aussie 200, Bitcoin, Copper, DAX, DX, Gold. This is the Swedish index, S&P UK. This is the volatility index. This is the Polish index, and this is oil and silver. Okay, and we are also, I'm thinking about like starting a stock portfolio, like scanning through some of the stocks, maybe US stocks or German stocks, and whatever. If you are trading any stocks that you want me to analyze on weekly basis, well, just let me know. I just need to know the name of it on TradingView, and I will be more than happy to analyze that stock for you, or whatever trading instrument you are trading. It could be cryptocurrencies or anything else. Okay, so would you be interested to know what the stock market is heading? Let me tell you this. If you go to my LinkedIn and scroll back, way back, you will see all these levels hits to the pip and was holding perfectly. So there's no hindsight, no BS, no nothing. So everything, every level that I'm showing you, actually, let me just show you one of them. This was on my LinkedIn. That once we hit this level was there. Okay, we hit this level was there, and I told everyone, from here expect price to come down to here. Okay, 1 week later we bounce back, and all the gurus around the world, I'm starting to subscribing just for fun, like on Facebook and Instagram, and as some other Swedish newspaper. Everyone's like panicking. Oh, recession, inflation, all the goody stuff. Well, I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm trading charts. I'm a technical trader. So I'm not disregarding that there is inflation. I'm not disregarding like there is a recession around the corner. But as long as I'm trading what my chart is telling me. Okay, so it's pretty funny when things are actually moving here, and when everyone was like, this is heading down, we will be heading down another 25-30%. Well, I was long in my stocks. uh, I went in $40,000, and I'm showing my stock portfolio. The stock market was down 25%. I'm down 4%, 3%. So at some point I was down 5%. So I'm performing like much more better than the index, and it's everything is there. You see the companies I'm investing in and everything. So I was long in the stock market when everyone else told me to run away. Okay, we hit this level, and I said, you know what? Let's see what's happening. Where price is making a higher low and going up, and there was a longing opportunity that I pointed out in advance in here, because I said if we close bullishly above this neckline, price will retest this level. This is a day trading opportunity. You can day trade yourself into a swing trade, trading the index. Okay, and then once we hit this level, we exit that trade, and then price is breaching that level. And I say, you know what? You just see from my drawing, price is heading down in here. Okay, let's see where price bounced last week. Okay, this was the chart, and this was the line that I just showed you. Okay, let me just make this bigger for you. Well, where did we bounce? Huh? This is 39.12. Okay, 39. That's where we bounce from. So, and this is what I mean. If you know how to read charts like a professional trader, you know, naked charts without any clutter in it, and you know what to look for. I'm teaching you exactly I'm teaching you the language of the market, because if you cannot read the language of the market, you're done. I don't care which trading system you are using, as long as you don't understand it, you don't know the institutional thinking behind it. Why is it working? Like, why, how did I know this level will be holding? Well, I didn't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if anything is going up, down, or sideways. We are trading probabilities. Okay, so let me just grab my pen for you. It was a long time ago I did this. So actually, just give me one sec. I need to zoom in like this, and then I grab my pen. Okay. Price is making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So far, so good. Okay. When this happens, this swing in here took out this swing, took out this swing. Well, I don't need to be a rocket scientist because to understand that, you know, something has changed. The sentiment of the market has changed from up to down. Okay. And this leg is just heading up into levels of resistance and dropping, and you have candlestick formation, and that's what I teach. That's what the ACAT is all about. Like, how do this drop begins? It begins with an engulfing, bearish engulfing. This started with a bearish pin bar. Okay, this started with a bullish um, engulfing. Okay, so when this happens, that's it. The stock market is done. Okay, we made a lower high and a lower low. Now we have confirmed bearish trend. Now it's, you know, it's not time to go long. Okay, price goes up. Where do you go up to? Look left. Okay, this is resistance. How did this? Well, price is confirming this level. This is a weekly chart. We are not talking about a tick chart, or a 5-minute chart, or a 15-minute chart like, you know, most struggling traders are focusing on. This is a weekly chart. This is institutional. This is the big dogs trading this chart. This chart's heading up, hitting resistance, and giving you a strong bearish candle. Well, that means, you know, the bears is winning the battle. Okay. Well, we went down. Where do we went down to? Look left. Okay. So, and then we struggled for so many weeks until this happens. The same second this happened, if you go back to watch my LinkedIn, this was a pending order. Okay. Price gets your filled, goes up. And I had this entire zone as a sell zone. Where did you see any bearish candle action in here? Is this bearish to you? No. Is this bearish to you? No. Is this bearish to you? Yes. But we are above this level. You don't know if price is heading down and then bounce from here. That could be a possibility. Okay. But something very juicy happened. Beside going down, heading down into this level perfectly. Okay. How, like, you know, if you, sorry, just let me take the pen and let me see here. Erase drawing and then go back in here. If I go down to my daily chart, first and foremost, we use the yearly chart. So is the trend up or down? Well, this is heading up. This is like, if I ask, well, one of the things that I'm very keen about is like, the way I trade, the way I read the market, it needs to be as objective as possible. That means if I ask 100 traders, is this trend up or down? Well, as long as you have like more than 2 hours of education in trend identifying, you will say this is up. There's no traders will say this is down. The trend is up. That's 100% objective. Okay. Now you go to your monthly chart. What is the monthly chart doing? Well, this is heading up. The trend is up. Okay. And then you go to the weekly chart. Well, the trend is not up in here. The trend changed. We made a lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher close. Now the trend is in alignment with the monthly and yearly bias. We are heading up. Okay. I had this level marked, and if you go to the daily chart, it's pretty interesting because how do I know this level is legit? Because the first time we touch it, price bounced down from there. So I'm marking this level, going down to my daily chart. Okay, price is closing below. Everything is in the website, in the within the paid membership. I explain when support becomes resistance, resistance becomes support. I'm not holding anything back. Everything you need to know about trading is there. Anything from reading the language of the market to how to scale, how to identify targets, stop loss, hands on, hands off trade management. And I always cover some, the mental aspect of trading, which is the biggest part. So once we reclosed, reestablished background space, 80-20 probability, like I always teach, is that this level will be holding as resistance. And there was some red flag news and everything. It's pretty funny, like when a big red flag news comes out right at resistance, it's just like, people, the big leaders, no, we are at resistance. Let's just say something bearish. And it obviously held perfectly down into support, and now the rest is history. Okay. So by longing the stock market in here, and adding into it in here, put me in a great position. So what will the market will be doing from here? Well, there are several options. Option number one is we will be heading up. Okay. What I will be watching in here, the same way I'm drawing these levels in here. Okay. This is obviously a level that we will be watching, and then the next level in here. And then I will adjust those levels along the way, depending if we are holding that level or not. So the biggest question we will be asking ourselves, will we make a weekly lower high and then drop? Well, how do you know that? Well, once price hits that level, you will see candlestick formation. Like if we hit this level and you get a bearish pin bar or a bearish engulfing or a bearish candle action, well, that's not good. What could happen then? What could happen then is, let me first and foremost, let me show you that on a weekly chart. If we have a bearish candle action like this, or an engulfing whatever, there is a chance that price will be heading down into these levels. And to be dead honest with you, that's what I want to see, because then I will just buy myself time to invest in more stocks, buy more shares, and then from here, and then by the time this happening, and then all you will see all the bearish news, the world is ending again, everything is like very dark, and they tell you to sell everything, get panicked. The greatest opportunities is happening when everyone else is running away. So when everything is like, when everyone tells you to sell, this is the end of the world again, well, that's the time I will buy. Okay, because amateurs react to news and they get scared. Professionals, they invest. They know that in the long run, if I trade stocks and my time horizon is 5 to 10 years, well, let me tell you this: regardless if this is going up, down, sideways, at some point this will be heading up, and you will never ever see these levels again. The same way you don't see the levels in the financial crisis in 2007, maybe the levels for the corona crash, these levels that you are seeing today, you will never see those levels again. So that's my 2 cents. And obviously I will be analyzing the S&P every single week, candle by candle, and so far it made me I'm in good shape. So let's see how things goes. This is just a sample of how I'm doing my analysis on weekly basis, educating my clients to read price, pure price action trading. And obviously, if you follow us on social media, from time to time, I will share some stuff for our social media as well, for those who are following us on social media. So if what I say makes sense to you, and if you have put trust and faith in what I'm doing, well, let me tell you this: you won't find any other coaches out there that is as much passionate in helping you, truly helping you. Don't buy anything from us if you don't trust us. I've been doing this for 5 years. I have like over 6,000 followers on LinkedIn. Listen to my podcast and just listen to the first episode. That episode alone, I think I got like over 1,000 emails. Okay, I'm telling everything the way it is. Trading is not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's lots of hard work. And if you are willing to work hard with me, I will give you my all, and I'm giving you everything I know. I'm always evolving my own trading, and I'm here to help you. The only question is, are you ready to take that step? Because now I will, Vic will be showing you the new pricing, the new pricing options. We have taken every excuses away, so that by the end of this session, you have to ask yourself, what's your excuse now? Because you don't have one. Okay, so if you are ready to take that step, I will be honored to help you. If not, no worries. We wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be here until the end of the session. If you have any questions for me, I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you. Over to Vic.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you, Darko. I just got to become make presenter. I think that's me. Can you see this screen now?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Awesome. Very, very good. Thanks so much, Darko. That was really good. I think it's, like I said, I think it's very, just some nice comments here. Thank you so very much, Darko. Outstanding. Yeah. Anyway, no, I think it's just interesting to see the methodology applied to other trading things. Okay, let's keep moving along here. I know I'm so sensitive to keeping people hanging around in a room like this, and I respect your time, and I'll just keep going here. We'd recommend that, sorry, I had to cough there, that when you start trading, you learn the process first before risking any real money. And when you do take a live trade, that you do, you have a smaller account, and you have a smaller account size. Here's what you can do, and let's just talk about these things here. Because the longer term trading, you have more initial pip risk, obviously, right? But you have much bigger rewards in terms of pips. If your account size is too small, okay, so here's the thing. We always recommend 0.5% of your account, but that won't work if you only have, say, $1,000 and you want to, have a 200 pip risk or something. You could only risk about 50 pips if you have $1,000 using a micro lot, okay? So you could elect to risk, say, 1 or 2%. Right? Because we're not the Forex police here. I mean, you can risk whatever you want. We're just put those out as a recommendation. 1 or 2%, that's $10 or $20, which is going to be about 100 to 200 pips in a micro account. Okay, so that's a very good way to do it. And here's another thing as well. Like Darko just alluded to, he just did a PMA for this week, for today, and in it he talked about getting, day trading your way into a swing trade. Okay, it's an awesome, perfect, great way to do this. Because when you take a day trade at a higher time frame significant level that you're normally buying as a higher time frame trade, but you wait for a smaller time frame setup, like on the hourly chart, you end up with a risk, instead of, whatever, I'll just make this up, but 200 pips, maybe you got a risk of 50 pips. That's a big difference. And you're still got a long-term trade on, by the way. You're going for long-term targets. So Darko talked about that today in today's PMA. I also have a tutorial on how to do this as well that I posted in our bonus video section, and that talks all about this. I have some examples in there and everything. So it's just a way to handle it, because I know it can be, people say, hey, I want to trade longer term, but what do I do when I have a small account size? Okay, now just be aware that the trade may not even set up as a short-term trade. Sometimes the price will hit a level and just bounce straight away, and there's nothing you can do. You missed the trade. But the ones you do get, which I would say most of the time you can get into, those trades can become huge reward risk trades. Like maybe instead of, like I say, 200 pips, you got 50 pips, maybe even 20 pips. But your profit target is taken off the longer term trades, okay? And those can be 200, 300. Well, I just told you about the one that was 850 pips. So now we're talking about some ridiculous reward risks. Okay. So I hope that all makes sense. Let me see here. I want to talk about this. I'm going to go through this quite quickly because we covered this in a tutorial, and then I'll get to the pricing. I promise right away here, because I think I say people want to get going in that, but it really is we did do the pricing so that I just think it's going to be, well, like Darko says, we tried to do everything we can to help out and remove any blockages that you might have. Expectations are so important. It's the failure of so many traders because they have flawed expectations because you're thinking about money all the time instead of the process of learning this, and they're not mentally prepared. So important for that. We, and Darko said it as well, is our obligations to be honest and truthful. If we're not, we're not going to be around long. And I've had this service going since 2006. So hopefully we've been that way. So people want to know, when can I become a stage 4 trader, which is consistently profitable? There's no answer on this. And I know it might throw people off. You say, hey, you need this amount of time before you can do anything, and that we don't really know. There is desire, attitude, commitment, what I talked about here. These are factors that can determine how long it's going to take you. There's people that get going here in a very short term, for short period of time. Maybe it's a month. Maybe, if they have and again, it depends on their background too. Maybe they've already had some pretty good background and they're familiar with a lot of stuff, and so they can get moving along pretty quickly. It's going to vary. I just can't say exactly what it's going to be. At the beginning is going to be the hard part. After that, geez, if you just put yourself through that, commit to that part, you're going to be on your way. This is a really rough guideline because, like I say, it might not take 3 months. It might be less. And if you don't do anything, it's going to take more, obviously. But as I said earlier, you could just follow the PMAs if you want. Learn the basic video tutorials, listen to the PMAs occasionally, just get familiar with them, okay? After that, after 3 to 6 months, you're watching the PMAs, you're maybe demo trading and you're tracking your performance and you're asking questions. This is a guy here that I wanted to throw out a note of encouragement for some of the newer members. I've been a member for 3 months now, and I spend several hours every day going over the training material and reading price. Every week it gets easier. I'm at the point now things are just jumping out at me instead of me looking for them. I'm a net positive trader already, and I know I'm just getting started. Don't get discouraged. It takes time, but once it clicks, it's like getting that second win for you runners. And then, 6 to 9 months, you should have lots of confidence going here, seeing trade setups, maybe doing some live trading. We always talk about using micro lots just to keep your risk. Listen, don't be in a big hurry to ramp this up and eat the elephant in one bite. Give it some time. This was, by the way, Darko talked about that PMA that he did today, where getting into a day trading your way into a swing trade. Great PMA, Darko. This is one of the comments from today. What is the most important? What is the important thing that you give to CC community? It's your passion that makes this service unique. Thanks for that. And the second important thing is that you give us a fishing rod, not the fish. Have a great evening. This guy, by the way, is a very good trader. And he's been around for a while. And this is another one of our very good traders as well. Thanks, Darko. Best PMA for all. I'm taking these daily 1 hour trades in my sleep now. He's been around. He does very, very well. Great setups, he says. And then, up to the, from 9 months to the year mark, you should be seeing consistent profitability reaching towards that stage 4 trader. Obviously, you're going to be, there's no way you're going to get here without being an impeccable account and trade manager, okay? And everything's routine now. The price action reading, your patience is great, your confidence is high, you know what you have to do, okay? This is, I put this in here because just so that you have an idea of, what can help you be successful the fastest. And it takes time. It's not a get rich quick scheme, and you're willing to commit to the process. And if you can put the time in, you just, giving yourself such a good chance. You really are. We want this to be your last stop because it's easy to just go, you know what, I want to do this, but I'm going to try something else. Oh, I'm going to try something else, and oh, I'm going to try something else again, and it just never seems to work. So yeah, we'd love to have you with us. What we do, you can use for any style at all, and you have access to all of the different stuff. And it would really be our honor to have you join us. We'd really, we'd love to have you with us. Okay. So the pricing. Well, listen, here it is. And there's one more here. I really feel strongly about the quality of education we're getting here. The value is immeasurable. Yeah, that was Sean as well. And very nice. So super good. So what we did with the pricing, because that was an issue. Right now, like if you go to our site, this is what you see. Day trading, or probably month to month is 97 and 147 for the CC Pro. And we always reward people who are more committed to it, like they want to stay longer. Because the yearly rate here, like this is monthly. If you look up here on the top, monthly, and then there's a yearly rate. If you click on the yearly rate, it's $9.97 and $13.97 for both services, and $9.97 for a year. What we've done here is people wanted more pricing options. So what we did, here's what it looks like now. There's a $97, that's the regular monthly, but now we have a 6-month and a yearly tab that have changed. And I just, it's always like in my heart is always like, gee, I hope people can see their way to giving us more than a month, because it just, I wish it took a month, but it just does. And I if you've traded at all, you know what I'm talking about. So the 6-month is $397 for 6 months for either one of the services, or you can do both for $497. That works out to $66 a month, not 97, right? Instead of 97, $66 a month it works out to. And then for both of the services, 83. That's a substantial reduction. I think you'd probably agree. If you go to the yearly tab now, this is what we're really, what we've really dropped here, is you can take either one of the services for $647 for the year, the whole year. That's $54 a month, just under $54 a month. And for both it's 75. Like that's going for lunch. So that's for the whole year. And hopefully these, we've never ever offered these prices before for this much of a discount. And if that's what we get, if that's the feedback that we get from our survey, then you know what, Darko and I, we talked about it, and Vic Young, and said, if that's what they want, and they, we'll see how this goes. We'll see if it's as popular as that people were asking for, and then we'll just take it from there. So we're going to keep these until next Sunday. Is that Sunday, September the 18th? Yes, Sunday here in North America anyway. Whatever, Sunday our time, midnight, and that's the link. And if you have questions about anything, just ask me. Just send me an email, okay? Darko doesn't normally answer emails for a couple of reasons. One, he's just swamped with so much other stuff going on. Secondly, English is not his first language, and trying to put together an email and answer everything, and it takes a lot of time, So kind of a break here, and I answer the emails. Vic Young just posted that webinar special link to everybody. Thanks, Vic. I was just going to ask you about that. And so there it is. And like I say, it's good till, next Sunday. And what do we got here? Jody, that's fine. Yes. And Ranjit, thank you for your comment. Very nice. Oh, Jody, thanks so much. Will this be recorded, John? Yes, it is recorded. Oh yeah, so Vic answered that. Thanks, Vic. On the S&P chart, looks like at one point you were using support resistance zones rather than support resistance lines. So let me talk about zones versus support resistance lines. Support resistance levels are an exact number, okay? You could have a candle that's got a wick on it, which is pretty common, you usually do. The pattern could set up anywhere within that wick. So we don't know where it's going to happen. We always say, let price tell us. So if price, say it's coming down into a support level, and if you look left, it's at a support level. We have that level, that number marked, but the zone could extend into the wick, and the pattern actually shows up in the wick, which could be like a set and forget, or maybe a swing break rotation on the lower time frame. I hope that makes sense, Mike. That's a good question, though. What percentage growth would you expect? Absolutely impossible. Oh, he's left. Impossible to tell, Dave, but it's a good question. What percentage growth would you expect? I don't know how many trades you're going to take. I don't know if you're going to trade short term, long term. How you're going to manage your trades is a huge factor. So it's so hard to tell. That's the thing about trading, is that, like, it's like, even if you think about it, wherever you have if you have a investment account with somebody for your retirement, and your neighbor has an investment account, I'll guarantee you, you do not get the exact same returns on your, it depends. Like they're all going to have different things in them. They're going to, maybe your neighbor is more aggressive and he's putting on stocks, but maybe he has a bigger drawdown because of it when the market crashes, or maybe you're into some, non-correlated assets in your investment portfolio. There's so many factors. So I wish I could tell you, Dave, but it's just not possible. I don't know what I would say, and I wouldn't want to say anything and give some misleading information. So yeah, that's a good way to put it. Ranjit, he says trading is like fingerprints. No two people are the same. So true. Yeah. But thank you for the question, Dave. That's a good one, and I don't blame you for asking it, because you're thinking, hey, what can I expect? I can tell you this, what you can expect is that what Darko's done over the last, 5 years now, coming up 5 years in November, um, he's provided these trades in advance. So, and they're recorded and they're archived. So you can't go back and say, oh, yeah, you know what? No, we won't take that trade because it was a losing trade. You can't do it. Too late. Once it's recorded, anybody can come back and call him out on it. And that doesn't happen because there's nothing to hide. I mean, they win or they don't win. Mostly they win. And his track record's been really, really good. So when I say really, really good, I'm talking about taking the trades that he posted and then managing them, trade managing them properly. And we have trade management protocols that we have at our site that you can follow. And there's lots of ways to manage a trade. There are ideas so that people can do something with their trades. Okay, that makes logical sense. Not just sit there and hope and wish and watch a nice big fat winning trade become a losing trade. You don't want to do that. Okay, any other questions? Can I answer anybody have something else you want to ask? Or I think that, as I always say at the end of these things, just email me with any questions you have. I'll get back to you ASAP. You got these till next Sunday. Gee, if ever there was an opportunity to join us, I think this is a pretty good one. I hope you find it that way. And but if you have any concerns or anything, just send me an email. I'd be very happy to get back to you. And with that, I will thank you, Darko, for your presentation part.
Thanks, Vic, and thanks everyone. Hope to see you in class soon. Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah, really good. And thanks, Vic Young, for looking after the recording and everything else you do in the background at Forexmentor too. Really appreciate it. So thanks so much, everyone. Take care, and hope to see you. Cheers.